Hi and welcome to EIHAtv. Hope you're all very well. My name is Craig Simpson. This coming weekend should have been the start of our tournament season for the juniors. I'm going into the end of the month for the Women's League as well. Starting a month-long residence in Sheffield, starting with the conference weekend, the 26th edition of our conference tournament. The 450 players from all over the country, including teams from Scotland, the North, Midlands, South East and South West. And they would have been doing battle over this bank holiday weekend coming up. But unfortunately, as we know, coronavirus has put paid to the tournaments for this season. So what we're going to be doing over the next few weekends, thanks to our friends at 24/7 TV, we're going back in the archives to last year's tournaments. We're going to bring you some of the big games from 2019. So over the weekend coming, we're going to have two of the age group finals from Conference 2019 and two more the following weekend. We're also going to have the Under-20s National Final from 2019, and then we're going to have the finals from the Women's National Ice Hockey League Trophy Weekend, which took place in Widnes last May as well. So they're the games over the next few weeks. As I say, we thanks to our friends at 24/7 TV for allowing us to show those. But what we're going to do in this little episode is look ahead to those games and the whole tournament season and what it means to those involved, with a man whose voice you will be hearing a lot on the highlights of these games, and that is our lead commentator for 24/7 TV. And we're very delighted to be joined by Jono Bullard. So hi Jono, thanks for doing this. How's things with you in this no sport world we find ourselves in?
Yeah, it's a bit boring, isn't it?
Yeah.
No sport, no hockey. I think my last hockey game was 7 weeks ago, which is in Nottingham Lions against Sutton that myself and Chris Gadsby commentated on. So yeah, I think it's probably going to be a while before I see any more live hockey, unfortunately.
Yeah. And obviously the landscape around the country is the same. That the hockey stopped in the sort of middle of March, and from the EIHA point of view, this would have been building up to the start of our sort of busy period for the NIHL was done and dusted, but this is our kind of tournament season, starting with what would have been the conference weekend this weekend, and yourself and 24/7 TV have been with us the last few years, and bringing all of the tournaments to people online, and so this next month or so would have been a residence in Sheffield for you and us.
Yeah, pretty much. It's always a busy time of the year for me, May. An awful lot of commentaries. I have to keep gargling the salt water to keep the voice in tip-top condition. But yeah, it's something I look forward to every single year. It's a lot of hard work and it's a lot of games, but I really do enjoy doing it and seeing the talent that is out there in the country.
Yeah. So looking at what we're doing, obviously, as we're previewing this, is thanks to yourselves at 24/7 and Adrian, the big man, as it were. He's given us some games to put up over the next few weeks from our tournaments from last year. So we've got conference games, we've got junior finals games, and we've got women's games. This weekend would have been conference. It would have been conference number 26. Obviously, not clubs as such. The players come together in regional teams, the conferences. So it's got a bit of an all-star kind of feel. It is the best of the best, and is some of the best junior hockey you'll see in the country.
Yeah, definitely, and we've seen some great players come through the conference. Certainly in the 3 seasons previously that I've been doing it, the likes of Liam Kirk, Kieran Brown, Jordan Griffin, we've had Mason Biddulph, so some real quality players coming through that we've been able to see at conference level. And
the kick-off, which would have been on Friday, coming up this weekend, is the Junior International as well. That's always been a hotly contested game, particularly the last few years when Scotland have really come to the fore, and the series kind of flip-flop back and forth.
Yeah, last year's was a great game, live on Free Sports, of course, so it was great to get that game showcased to a free-to-air TV audience, a big crowd at Ice Sheffield as well. And yeah, a close game, 4-3 in the end, I think it was, to England, but a hat-trick by Kieran Brown, some great play by Joe Hazeldine as well to set him up, but also great tenacity by the Scots to be in it right until the end.
Yeah. And then what would have been the following week, the under-20s, This year, unfortunately, we've lost it out, but we would have had back to the England and Scotland format. So we would have the best two English teams, the best two Scottish teams. So we would have had that British champion again, which we last had 2-3 years ago, I think, when Coventry were the best team in under 20 team in Britain. But last year's under 20 final, which we will be showing in the next week or so, was that one turnaround? It turned around in the blink of an eye. Coventry were clear and dry at 3-1, then and Billingham just came back.
Yeah, what was it? 3 goals in the last 8 minutes, I think it was. But yeah, a great turnaround by Billingham, and it was a great final. It was a great spectacle, and the under 20 level is one that you always enjoy because they're obviously one step away from senior hockey. A lot of them are already playing at ENL level, so you do get very, very good quality games in those finals. And I think you're right, it would have been great to have the Scottish teams back in again. I did an under 20 finals up in Dumfries a few years ago as well, which included both the British and Scottish teams. So yeah, it'd be great that they were coming back into the fold again.
Yeah. And the tournament season just rolls on. After under the 20s would have been the junior final, so that's all of the junior leagues from under 11s up to under 18s, and that's it's a mad weekend as well. That's the bank holiday weekend at the end of May, so it's a 3-day weekend. You've got basically a full day of under 11s, and then the next 2 days you've got your semi-finals and finals for the other age group. So it's a lot of junior hockey, particularly if you're commentating on games from dawn till dusk. But and again, these are the best teams from the north and the south at each age group. So again, the standard is right up there.
Yeah, the standard is always fantastic in the junior finals. Another tournament I really enjoy very, very much. But it's also good seeing the players, especially as I've done it, this would have been my 4th season doing it. You sort of see the players now coming through the age ranks. So you've seen them start at under 11. Some of them are approaching under 15 now. So you're seeing their journey from when they started and how they're growing and how they're getting better. And that's always great to see. It's something I really do enjoy taking a note of because the more you do it, obviously, the more names stick out and the more names become familiar. And especially from that Manchester side as well, that I saw a lot of under 11s and then they progressed to under 13s. So yeah, there's an awful lot of talent at that level. But I did get one of my best commentary moments last year, was the fact that I got to call a Shudra goal for Nottingham, even though it was Tate Shudra. Yeah.
And it's something that people have, like ourselves, obviously shows our age, unfortunately, when you recognise names and it's their dad, and in some cases beyond even their dad, and it kind of makes you feel very old very quickly.
Yeah, it certainly does. It certainly does. There are a lot of familiar names out there.
Obviously the juniors morphed into the end of May would have been our trophy weekend for the Women's League, the WNIHL. Obviously that season, unfortunately, cut short. Unlike the NIHL, which managed to more or less get everything done, the WNIHL was cut short, and the standard again, particularly the Women's Elite League, you've got that battle between Bracknell and Solihull that seemed to be bubbling up nicely to a big conclusion. And that trophy weekend would have had, as I say, the semi-finals Saturday, all the finals on Sunday, throw in the under-16s as well. Again, the very best from what the women's game can give us.
Yeah, probably of all the tournaments, the women's one is the one I enjoy the most because it tends to provide the closest games, some very exciting games as well. And it's one I do particularly enjoy. A bit different last season going to Widnes, which was a different rink, and a rink I'd actually not been to before. Different commentary position as well, right in the corner, which wasn't ideal. But yeah, on the false roof is probably not the best place to set everything up. But again, really, really enjoyed it. Saw some really good play. Abby Sylvester was outstanding all weekend. We had the likes of Chamonix Jackson making a breakthrough for Nottingham in that tournament. And the standard and the quality is really fantastic in that tournament. And again, another one that I enjoy thoroughly.
And some of the tournaments as a whole, obviously, you've watched the last 3-4 years, and the last couple of years as well. You kind of put together a watch list from the tournaments you've seen from all of the juniors, the women, even the international stuff you've watched, and players that people who don't maybe watch the junior game and the development game, players they should watch out for in the years to come.
Yeah, it's a shame I won't get to do that this year, unfortunately, because a lot of the content for those articles does come from the tournaments during May, and then the international tournaments that I do get to see. But it's nice to actually showcase some of these players and pick them out, and the ones that really do catch my eye. And most of the ones that I've covered have gone on to better things in some cases. A lot of them are still in junior level. So it's really great to see how they progress and how their careers can get better and where they do end up.
Yeah, and what we'll do is we'll share the links on the website and on with this video as well. But something obviously you enjoy doing and something people should take a notice of. Bit of a want to put you on to spot to round things up. But have you had of the games you've done, the tournaments you've done? Have you anything stands out from what you've done so far?
Yeah, I think the thing that stands out the most is probably when Kieran Brown in his last conference was absolutely outstanding. I think he got the record points total for a conference weekend, if my memory serves me right. Yeah. And he was on that northern team, and they played Scotland in the final and went 2-0 down. And then he just suddenly seemed to flick on the switch and it completely turned around. And you saw what an outstandingly good player he was in that tournament and how good he is. And obviously now he's playing for the Sheffield Steel Dogs. I'd like to see him get more ice time with the Sheffield Steelers because I think he does have the talent to make a statement at elite league level. Mm-hmm. But that particular tournament, he just really, really stood out for me. And then the other ones is some of the young netminders that you see coming through. There's been some outstanding netminder performances in the times I've been watching at both conference and national level. And Luca Tassadri is one who stands out. I've seen him under 11s, under 13s. I think he's at under 15s now. I think he's got an incredible future ahead of him. And then Ben Clark-Leach at Swindon as well, who I think won a national final on his own. Mm-hmm. Completely stood on his head and was absolutely brilliant. So I think they're the ones that stand out is some of the netminder performances and the performance of Kieran Brown in his last conference. Yeah, it's something obviously we'll miss this year, but hopefully the fans can enjoy these games over the next few weeks, thanks to 24/7 obviously giving us the games to show. Obviously, away from this hockey, you've still got your own Periscope, which you're still keeping ticking over in this lockdown period. Yeah, there's not a great deal to talk about at the minute. So I suppose as more news and more things happen, then I'll do them periodically. But did one last week as well, which has been quite well received. And we're also with the stuff I do with the Cat's Whiskers as well. We introduce a new podcast called My Top Line, where we sort of interview fans and ask them who their favourite line was. So they just pick their favourite netminder, 2 defensemen, 3 forwards, and then also sort of favourite moments like favourite goal, favourite game, favourite moments that they've seen, and favourite opposition player who they never got to see play for their team. So that's something that we've launched. We've done 6 now, and they've been very well received as well. So obviously, as lockdown continues and people want to listen to things, we'll keep churning as much stuff out as we can. Yeah, and if people want to find your genius, where can they get you on social media? It's at Jono Bullard on Twitter. And if you want to listen to any of the podcasts that we do through the Cat's Whiskers, it's www.thecatswhiskersonline.com.
That's brilliant. Well, I appreciate you doing this for us, and obviously we'll be hearing your voice quite a lot over the next few weeks, reliving these classic junior games. Appreciate your time, Jono. All the very best to you and the family, and hopefully we'll see you at a rink sometime soon.
I hope so. Absolute pleasure to be on. Thanks for asking.